Hey, welcome to the Crack House Chronicles. I am Donnie, your host, and with me is a man that says if he only had a week to live and could go anywhere in the world, he'd probably go to the hospital, because that's pretty serious.
Don't do that shit to me. Oh, Lordy. You know, a guy told me the other day, said, we was at work, and he goes, if I only had 2 hours to live, you know where I'd go? I said, where? He said, right here, because it takes all damn day to get out of this damn place. 2 hours lasts forever.
That's it, bud.
Good point. Oh, Lordy.
What's going on with you, bud?
Oh, man, trying to get over this damn cold.
Yeah, there's some stuff going around.
Yeah.
It's floating around.
Yeah, I'm getting better, though. If I laugh hard like that, I'll be coughing for 20 minutes. So, but it's not the big C or the little C, either one of them, so I'm good to go.
Well, everybody can't see this, but Dale, right now, we are in a new location.
Yes, we are.
We are in a new studio.
Boom, boom, boom.
We are. We have moved.
Are we banished to the basement?
We're in a new studio. Let's put it that way.
No, I love it, man.
Yep.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
So we might give you a sneak peek video one day, but not today.
Not today, no. No, but we're excited. It took a little while to get things moved around. Got some transition things going on, so it's all good.
It's something you've been wanting to do for a while. And,
yeah.
You was going to move one room, and we decided to just take the basement, and I think this is cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really, really cool deal.
Yep. Yeah, I got a pretty cool little man cave down here, so it's all right.
Yeah. It's only going to get better from here.
Yep. But we want to thank everybody for being patient with us as we're going through this transition, moving some things, and we got some good things lined up, Dale.
Yeah, man. I appreciate all you guys. And thanks for all the kind words and the well wishes and to get over your sickness and get better, and let's get this thing rolling. And I'm telling you, I really felt bad about letting you guys down, but Donnie, Mr. Positive over here, is always pumping me up, saying, don't worry about it. We'll get it when we get it, and we fixing to get it.
We're about to get it right now.
That's right.
That's it. And we're going to get into our case this week, dude.
All righty.
And this is a disappearance.
Disappearance? Like a magic trick?
No, this is a disappearance of a little girl.
Oh, my bad.
No, that's all right. And this comes from Glendale, Arizona, and this is the disappearance of Alicia Navarro. Now, I'm going to tell you what, Dale, this case has really baffled me, man. It is all over the place.
It is.
You look up stuff, and you read stuff, and you listen to other podcasts on it, man, and you get construed information from different sources.
Yeah, there's not very much what was I going to say? The fact pile is kind of small.
Yes.
And you can pick up facts up and look at them and put them back and look at them and put them back, and then you hear a different turn on the same fact, and you're like, wait a minute. So it's kind of baffling, like you said, but there's not a whole lot to it, but it's still very intriguing.
But just to get into it, her name is Alicia Christian Navarro.
Alicia.
Yeah. And she was born on September the 20th, 2004. And at the time of her disappearance, she was 14 years old, and she would be 17 today. She's technically just disappeared, so she is 17 today.
Right.
And she was born in Phoenix, Arizona, but was living in Glendale, Arizona.
Which is just right outside. Right?
Yeah, it's like a next-door town.
Right.
They say if you go from one town to the other, you really don't know it.
Exactly.
Yep, just going down the road and
there you are.
You're in another town.
Over there.
Yep. But at the time of Alicia's disappearance, she was diagnosed with autism.
Yes.
High-functioning autism. Actually, at the age of 12 when she was diagnosed.
She had some pretty rough problems there, too.
Yeah, she had some severe anxiety, and she was receiving therapy at the time. I think having a therapist at the time of her disappearance, and she has medication that she was taking for this, I think.
Yeah, she had some sensory problems and, just a whole lot of stuff.
Sensory problems,
food
too.
And didn't want to leave the house. And so it was not just anxiety, so it was a whole lot of stuff. But they were working through it and doing well. Yeah.
It was a certain kind of clothes that she would only wear, I think sweatshirts and sweatpants. Even though in Arizona
it's super hot.
Yeah, she wore sweatshirts. And she loved her McDonald's chicken McNuggets. Mm-hmm. That was her favorite food.
That was her go-to.
Yep, it was.
And she's a pretty small chick, too.
Yep.
She was like, 4 or 5, I think. 4
yeah,
5.
She was 4 foot 5 inches.
Right.
And 95 pounds when she disappeared. Now, because of Alicia being on the autism spectrum, Dale, she attended like special schools. Not really special schools, but private schools.
Right. A smaller circle of friends and that kind of thing.
Had more one-on-one time with teachers, I think. And she was very high-functioning and very smart, according to everybody, all of her friends and her family.
Yeah.
Very high-tech savvy. which we're going to get into. And she had friends that she associated with, but when she started the Bourgade Catholic High School in Phoenix, she actually had to write a little paper about herself and said she was reserved, quiet, nervous, shy,
introverted, and nerdy.
Yeah. So
yeah, that kind of gives, just kind of tell you how she was.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nothing wrong with that.
But like school, wasn't easy for Alicia, according to her mama, Jessica.
Right, and a lot of times she would I'm having a pretty rough day today. I think I need to take a time, out. And her mom would always give her room and let her, if she felt like she needed to stay away from school that day, she didn't have a problem with doing that.
Yep. And Alicia did live in Glendale, Arizona with her mom and her stepdad.
Yeah.
I think Alicia's real father, biological father, was living in Florida at the time. I think that's what I've heard.
And then they had 2 siblings in the house, right?
Yeah. And the family, they had hired a behavior coach in 2017 to help Alicia with a lot of her challenges and managing her autism, and especially in school.
Right.
And her mama, Jessica, explained that Alicia was warming up to school and made friends in her classes pretty good, like we talked about.
Yeah, I think she was making some strides. Coming of age, it's it's going to be getting difficult if she doesn't. So I think her mom was pretty proud of how she was going. That way, she was more lenient and letting her do stuff the more she progressed.
Yeah, and since she got into high school, she was growing up a little bit more and becoming more independent. She would wake up on her own by herself, but her mom would always comb her hair before she left for school. But she was becoming more independent.
Yeah. And a lot of that could be coming. She was getting into video games and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was online community. So basically she could be, not really be someone else, but she could have her own, a whole different personality online because basically you can just say what you want because you don't have to really worry about it because you're not basically in the presence of who you're talking to.
Yeah, she was a gamer.
Yes.
Ain't no doubt about it. And yeah, like I said, when she wasn't at school, she was gaming. And she played many games, and one of them was Minecraft, and there have been a few others that's been listed, but I can't remember what they were, and I'm sure there's a lot of others that the authorities aren't telling us about.
I'm going to tell you that Minecraft, I don't get it.
No, I don't get it at all.
I watch my kids play it. I'm like, okay, so you're building a house, and there's a goat?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's one of the main things that Alicia done when she was not at school.
Right. And I think she did have a Facebook and an Instagram, but she wasn't very active on them, but she was more active on Discord.
Discord, yeah.
And which is like a messaging app, I assume.
That's a lot of gamers use that for messaging, I think.
You can tell I am not a gamer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fairly familiar with Discord, but I don't, I'm not a gamer, so. Now, since Alicia got into high school, Dale, she was, like we said, was getting more independent, and she had asked her mom if she could go to the mall and hang out.
Yeah, she said that, her mom was kind of flipped out by this because she was started to listen to a little more mature music.
Pink Floyd.
And some stuff. And, well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that, but that's a damn good one. And then maybe some perfume and some makeup, which was really blew her mom away, being her sensory problems and stuff like that. She's trying to overcome some of that stuff. But to me, it also seems like it's a small red flag in my mind. But I'm not living in the house. I'm just looking at it from a scrutinization of a true crime junkie here.
I think with her therapist and everything, they were working toward her having goals to be able to do these things. If you do this, then we will do that for you, kind of thing. One hand wash the other, kind of thing.
That makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Because she was wanting to. I think the therapist was telling her, you need to start trying this stuff.
Try to go out a little bit.
Yeah. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Yeah.
Come out of your shell.
But yeah, Alicia did go to the mall, and she was spending some time with some friends out there, and her mama was going to take her out there, and she left her for a couple hours.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a couple guys out there that she had met up with.
Right.
I think they were in school with her. And Alicia became, I think, infatuated with one of them because he was into fitness and eating right and
working out.
Yeah, working out. And she'd even asked her mom to buy her some
protein stuff,
supplements.
Because she was thinking that would be pretty cool to do.
Yeah, but she'd become infatuated with this guy because of his dieting and working out and exercising and stuff. But something we're going to talk about too, Dale. While she was at the mall, one of the boys had reported that Alicia had a burner phone with her.
Right.
And Alicia's mom, Jessica, didn't know anything about this.
Right. Yeah. When after the disappearance, when they went back and talked to this guy, because when she dropped her out, she's like, all she had was her cell phone. She didn't even have a backpack or nothing. But that's not what he said.
Yeah, he said she had a burner phone.
Right.
Now,
we'll come back to that.
Yeah, and one thing Alicia had asked her mom to do was buy her a comic book. And
not just any comic book.
Not just any comic book.
Not a 39-cent.
I mean, she wasn't into this stuff at all, but she asked her mom.
She was an avid reader, but not into comics.
But it was a $200 Iron Man comic book.
$200.
And it was the issue Demon in a Bottle issue.
I'm like, but she's like, well, that's what she wants.
Yeah.
And, I give her mama credit. She's trying to give her everything she wants, but I don't know, to me, I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff we'll be talking about to her is probably seeming to be goal-oriented stuff, and, she's all for it, but to me, it's like red flags flying up everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, but I'm outside looking in, so.
Yeah. But like I said, there's a lot of information on this girl, but not really a lot because it's all over the place.
Right.
There's no details, and there's not a lot of...
There's not like a really detailed timeline about this happened, this happened, this happened. It's just, you know what you know, and that's all you get, and just we have to make the chicken salad out of it.
Yeah, me and Dale's had to read a lot of stuff and listen to a lot of stuff to be able to put this all together for y'all.
Right.
So now we're going to move up to September the 13th, Dale,
okay,
of 2019. And this is when Alicia asked her mom, Jessica, if she could stay home from school.
This was a Friday.
Yeah,
yes.
And it was due to a little anxiety that her mama thought she had.
Mm-hmm.
And, she thought, well, why not? Because Alicia has been making progress. She's been doing good, stepping out of her comfort zone.
Don't want to give her no backslide.
Yeah, so if she feels like she can't do it today, then...
What the hell?
Exactly. She's been doing good. So she let her stay, and that was it. But they...
And said pretty much she spent the whole day in her room, probably on her computer.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yep. The next day, Alicia and her mother, they had a day out together. She took her to get her eyebrows threaded, and they went to a chocolate factory. And it was just a really good day. And she was laughing and just having a good time.
Well, that's good that they had a good day.
Yep. Now, on September the 14th, this was about 11 p.m. that night, Alicia came down from upstairs.
Right.
And her mom was still up, and...
She was waiting on her husband to come home from work.
Yeah, he was working late.
So she was
staying
on
up
the couch, waiting for him.
Yep. And just asking her mom what time she was going to bed.
Yeah, which is kind of weird, but...
Very weird.
But, and I think, maybe even she might have took it a little weird, and then Alicia said, well, Mom, you get all cranky if you don't get any sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So she kind of blew it off like that.
Yeah. So she was still up, and a little bit later...
Yeah, an hour or two.
Yeah, about 1 a.m. on September the 15th, 2019, Alicia came down again.
Yep.
And asked her mom.
The same question.
Yeah.
So this time, but she came down, and then they talked a little while, and Alicia got her some water.
Yeah.
But to me, this is like Flag City here.
You'd think.
Yeah.
But I mean, looking back on it, you see it, but at the time...
Right, like you said, we're outside looking in, and we've done all this research. At the time, you're not really thinking about it.
Yep.
We don't live in the house. You might have done it every night. I don't know.
So it wasn't long after that. That's when Alicia's stepfather got home from work.
Right.
And he
His
came
name
in...
was Ivan, I think?
I think so, yeah. And he came in, and Jessica went to bed. And I think he was going to stay up and watch some TV for a while.
Right. Well, before he came home, Alicia came down, and they talked for a while. She got her some water and went back upstairs. And just as soon as she got out of sight, her mother yelled up and told her good night. And she yelled back good night, and that would be the last time they got to speak. So,
wow. That's the last time she heard from her.
Yeah, so we don't leave that out.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Now Ivan's home. Watch TV.
Yeah, Ivan came home from work. And he was going to stay up for a while because I guess it's hard to go to bed right after you get home from work.
Right.
Yeah, so Jessica went on to bed, so he was going to stay up and watch TV. And I guess sometime during the middle of the night or early morning, he just fell asleep watching TV.
Right. Ended up TV is watching him. I do that a lot.
Yeah. So the next morning, Dale, Jessica gets up and is cooking breakfast for everybody.
Right.
This is on Sunday morning.
Yeah, she was cooking breakfast, like you said. And as she was turning around, she grabbed up the orange juice and was pouring Ivan a cup of orange juice, and she looked over, and the door was open.
The back door?
Yeah. It was not standing wide open. It was just
like
a jar, as they say.
Like cracked
and
open.
I don't know why a door is a jar, but whatever. Who come up with that?
In the South,
it's cracked open. So
yeah, cracked open, yeah.
So she's like, not like it's busted or nothing, but it's just open. a little bit. So she kind of freaked her out a little bit because she's like, "Whoa, nobody's been
Asked
out."
him if he had left the door open.
He's like, "No, he hadn't been out." So she got to look around, and so she noticed that Alicia wasn't downstairs yet. So told him to go up and check on her quick, just to make sure. And he did, and she was not in her room.
Yeah.
So that's when they were starting to freak out here.
Yeah. And she got to looking around outside.
Yeah, and she's not around, so they called 911 at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, they got to looking around, and in the backyard, they have like a cement block fence.
Like a cinder block wall in the backyard. Yeah.
So far. And then it just looked like where she had stacked some chairs up, and maybe just because she's so short she couldn't climb over, and then climbed up. And then at one point, Aaron had to have a shovel leaning into the corner so she could push her foot off of the shovel to hop over the wall.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, man, has he done this before? I mean, who thinks of this at 2 or 3 in the morning whenever you running out, to sneak out and jump over a wall?
Exactly.
Now, we did hear one thing saying, the reason she didn't go out the front door was said that the neighbors had surveillance cameras on the front of their house.
Like a Marine camera doorbell type thing?
That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, if you were going to run away, why would that matter? But anyway, and apparently the way she went out the back, there was that wall, and then you had to go over, and that landed into a dirt area, and then there was another wall you had to go over to land in a gravel area that was more like a RV storage unit, the way she called it. And then from there to the road, I guess.
Yeah.
So when the cops came out, that's what we assumed they all got together and done this deduction and figured out how it happened.
Yeah, but I haven't seen any pictures of footprint or anything like that.
Right. Now, Jessica did say that she saw the footprints over the wall where she jumped over into that dirt area and said it was her footprints of her shoes, but nobody took pictures of it.
Yeah, I hadn't seen any photos of it.
There is none. She said there was none.
Nobody took a photo of it.
Nobody. Because she said in one interview that some things she wished she would have went back and done, but in the moment you don't think about it, nobody took pictures. I'm like, well, who in the hell don't think about that? Surely, the crime, I don't know. I guess if you're thinking it's a runaway, it don't matter, but it still should be documented, don't you think?
Exactly.
I don't know. It just that one, I was like, why is there no photos of that?
Now, there's some conflicting reports on this too, Dale. I've heard it's the same day, and I heard it's the next day where Jessica is in Alicia's room and finds a note.
Right. Yeah, I heard it was the same way, and because they said they went up there and looking, and she was going the next day. Well, there was a lot between her jumping the wall and the next day as far as them out going and searching the neighborhood, and she even called her best friend, and they went house to house checking stuff, and then came home and she said she had Googled what to do and all this stuff, so which is another kind of a weird thing to me, but but yeah, then depending on which story you go with, they found a note, whether it was the same day or the next day, but she had went to her room to look and started noticing, doing inventory, I guess I should say, to see what was gone and what's not gone, or what she took, and that's when she found a note.
And the note was a handwritten note in her bedroom, and it said, "I ran away. I will be back. I swear. I'm sorry.
Right.
Alicia."
And it was like really scribbled, so I don't know if it was like there was regular handwriting or if it was just like last minute thinking I need to leave Mom a note for a split.
Yeah. But yeah, we got a picture of that note we'll post on our social medias and stuff.
So then while that, she'd also noticed that her iPhone was gone, her MacBook.
Yeah, she had a silver Apple MacBook that was gone, and no chargers for either.
Yeah, she didn't take her charger.
Didn't take the chargers.
Which is weird.
Yeah, very weird.
And then she decided whatever she was wearing, some kind of stonewashed overall thing, and a sweatshirt and or high top Vans or whatever.
Yep, and the $200 comic book was gone too.
And the $200 comic book.
Yep.
Which is all weird.
Very weird on that comic book that she was never seen reading.
Right.
Very, very strange story, Dale.
So I got a lot of questions. I know we're not done here.
Yeah, we're not done.
But some stuff happened, so should I ask a question there or should I wait?
Go ahead.
Okay, I want to go back to the mall. Did anybody ever go back and see if there were surveillance cameras or any footage of her meeting anyone at the mall?
I have no idea.
And I know this is several days back. But see, there was also reports that she had gotten in trouble before talking to people online, right?
Oh, yeah.
And she, giving out information.
And I think she's been going over this with her therapist.
Right. to tell her, they didn't know if she knew the dangers of this or whatever, but, it's just stuff you don't do. And said even that there was one time she had gotten, it was a text message from a guy.
Yeah.
And asking her if she liked teddy bears, and he wanted to be her teddy bear or something to that sort.
To love on the teddy bear.
Yeah, to love on. And, that's kind of weird. And
they freaked her mama out, too.
They filed a police report, but when they went back to look at it after this happened, the phone number was not taken down.
Yeah, and the police said they couldn't do anything about it because there was no crime committed.
Right. But hell, they could have wrote the phone number down.
You'd think.
Because I'm like, wait. So this is what takes me back to the mall. I want to know, why didn't they go and look at the cameras? Unless they did. If they did, I haven't seen anything on it. And this really cute guy, was he a guy that went to school, or was it another guy?
I think it's two guys she went to school with.
Because I'm thinking, if it wasn't, then was this guy a decoy? Like I've been talking to this guy online. You don't really know who you're talking to,
Exactly.
So if this is really workout, shredded guy, and she's like, oh my goodness, this. And then as far as her mama saying that she didn't have a burner phone, well, she could have got that there. He could have given it to her right there at the mall.
He could have.
You know what I mean? And the other guy said, she had the burner phone and a backpack. Well, she could have left the backpack if she didn't want to take it home because she would have got busted, but she could have snuck a phone home.
Oh, yeah, you can stick that anywhere.
Right. So then that brings me to, they said they cannot trace her phone or the MacBook, either one, after she left.
I know.
None. So.
Yeah, since when she left, they've been cut off.
But said burner phone would still be working.
You'd think.
So I think, I don't know, this is all speculation on my part, and I've been going over this in my head over and over and over, and I'm like, something is going on, because a lot of this is just weird stuff to me. You know how we are. I don't know, the comic book just, I don't know, I don't get that at all, unless that was just part of the cover or something.
Or a gift for somebody that she was buying it for.
Right, like the fit guy.
Yeah.
So a lot of that is just blowing my mind. So I was like, okay, so a lot of that can be explained away, but not really, because it's still speculation.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking about that today. It's like, well, if nobody's went back and looked at these cameras, why not? At that point, anyway. I know it's been several years now, but you would think that'd be the first thing you do.
You'd think, yeah.
Because, they went back to look at the police report to worry about the teddy bear guy. Well, there's no phone number there. And they didn't take pictures of her damn shoe prints. I don't know. This is just debacle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look like, the police did stuff. They're not telling us about it.
Right. And that could be true, because a lot of stuff, interviews with stuff and what that I listened to, it was still, and I guess it still is an ongoing investigation. I'm not going to tell you everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I got questions.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah, I'd like to know some stuff too. But now, Dale, they did issue a silver alert for Alicia.
Right.
This was the first one ever silver alert for a young child. Because most time it's an adult that's gone missing, but they did this because of her diagnosis of autism.
Right. Yeah, it's usually likewise 65 and over, but it has a precursor saying or a medical thing, and that's how she got in. And I think there was actually a female officer who got it pulled for her. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been one.
Yep. Now, they were doing some work in Alicia's room, and they did discover, Jessica discovered a hole in a screen in a window. You know how you got a glass window, then you've got a screen behind it. I guess you want to raise your windows up to let air in. Well, she noticed a hole in the screen. And Alicia...
So it's like did you see a picture of it? Is it like a corner cutout or a hole or a round?
Now, according to Jessica, it was a hole. And Alicia had told her that a bird had flew into it and caused the hole. But once they after Alicia went missing and they investigated the hole, they determined that the hole had been made from the inside, going out.
So unless the bird was in the room, it didn't do it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So this led Jessica, Alicia's mom, to think that, I don't know if she was sending stuff outside to somebody that was outside of her room. It's very possible.
Very possible.
Yeah, but that's all we know about that. Now, all this searching for Alicia has taken a toll on Jessica's mental health, and it still does to this day.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
It does, man. Now, the day Alicia went missing, Dale, this was just a few days before her 15th birthday.
Yeah, so just a few.
Just a few days, and they had planned a party for her. Mm-hmm. And I think Alicia, her favorite cake was red velvet.
Yep, that's what she requested.
Yep, and they went ahead and had her party.
Yeah, they were going to do a party, and she was going to go and actually go out and have steak for the very first time.
Yep, I think that was part of her therapy that, to be able to try new foods instead of chicken McNuggets.
Yep. And actually go out and do it.
Yep. Eat steak in a restaurant.
Wow.
Yep. But they went ahead with the party, and Jessica was hoping that Alicia would come home.
Yeah. Seeing that was her, it was all planned. She thought maybe I'd bring her home.
Yep. But Alicia didn't come home.
Nope. Man, and that clip of her singing Happy Birthday is heart-wrenching to listen.
It is.
It's hard to listen to.
Yep. Knowing that she's wanting her to come home and
be there with them.
Yep.
Bugs me, man.
Yep. And there were billboards put up everywhere, animated billboards all across Arizona. And Jessica has even started to put billboards up into other states. Yeah, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children also had Alicia's photo on gas pump screens and everywhere across Arizona.
Another group, the Anti-Predator Project, also took on her case, and they went in and they put up money for a reward, and also done billboards and flyers and everything they could do to try to help to the women, and said that when they seemed like they had got maybe a lead, or at least something that made them think that it possibly could be trafficking or a predator that had came in.
Yeah, especially them to get involved.
Her. And it could have been, it could have still been Teddy Bear Guy for all we know, or somebody after that who had been talking to her for a long, long time. Through
these gaming websites.
Yeah, and and I heard where somebody said, "Well, why can't you just go back and pull up those messages?" Well, you can if they're text, but if they're audio or video files, they don't keep them.
Yeah.
So that couldn't help you. So I don't know, man. And this is right there near right on the Mexican border. And
Alicia spoke fluent Spanish.
So it could be a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff it could be is not good.
No.
And I hate it for her if that's what happened. Like, that's why it was blowing my mind about this thing at the mall. I wonder if the guy she saw was, just a decoy for what was to come.
Yeah.
And it was just setting her up. Here's your burner phone. Here's this. And then on this night, and they was probably texting her on that phone. Mm-hmm. That's just the way my mind works. I hate it for the girl. She's just a little cutie and just it's bad news.
Yep, but now the last credible sighting of Alicia was about less than 2 miles from her home at a park. And there were multiple people there that believed they saw her that day. And she was seen with a male who had face, neck, and arm tattoos at this park, Dale. And the sighting was only 4 days after she went missing. And less than a year later, it would be a commonplace, for people to wear a mask because of COVID.
Yeah.
And making it difficult to spot Alicia.
Yeah, she's probably gone by then if it was, if it was what we think it is. But, if you think about it, she didn't really know what was going on. Why would she take her phone and her computer and not her chargers if she didn't think like, well, why don't you just meet me outside and we'll go over to my place, or we'll go somewhere and play some video games, bring her computer, we'll go and we'll play, and then we'll hang out again another time, I'll take you back home, blah, 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 that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if she was really leaving or running away to run away, she would have took some stuff for chargers, meds or clothes and toiletries. She didn't take anything, just the clothes she had on and her phone and her, which took that little backpack.
Yep.
Probably put her stuff in there and left.
Now, before her disappearance, Dale, Alicia allegedly told some friends she had plans to run away and possibly California because there were Comic-Con events there in California and other neighboring states. So I think this comic book plays a big deal in some of this. I think that centers around a lot.
Yeah, something up with that, isn't it?
Yeah, especially her never reading it. I don't know if it was meant for a gift for somebody or what.
Probably.
And if they would, find some of these comic stores or somebody that's bought this comic book, they can maybe trace it back.
Maybe.
If it was sold.
And it's a pretty high, if it's $200, it's not a regular one.
No, but we'll post a picture of this comic book. It was an Iron Man comic book. Crazy stuff. But there's a lot of lingering questions about this case.
Oh, yeah.
But the investigating agency on this, Dale, is the Glendale Police Department. And if anybody has any information on Alicia Navarro, they can call 623-930-3000. Or they can contact their local law enforcement or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Right.
Call any of these agencies.
if you know anything, and we have reached out to Jessica, and she said she would join us sometime, but we haven't heard back from her since.
And she posts every day on this, her daughter Miss, and what gets me too, she has smaller children she still has to take care of.
Yeah.
And she still has to be a mom to these smaller kids, and worrying about her daughter.
Trying to be strong for them kids.
Yes, and her Alicia, who is 17 now, trying to find out what happened to her, where she's at.
And that's never going to go away.
Yep.
I mean, you can't. That's not something you can just put out of your mind and go do whatever you're going to do. That's
crazy, man.
Stuff. So we hope good news will come for this, but it doesn't seem that way. And if she wants to come on and join us, we'd gladly have her, and maybe she can answer some questions we have, and maybe we can get her story out a little more and help her out.
All right. If anybody has any information, just contact your local authorities.
Yes, please do.
All right, Dale, we're going to get out of here.
Let's go, man. Felt good to get one out, and this is a good one. I think it turned out well.
All right. We want everyone to be safe, be careful, and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is the Crack House Chronicles.